So I don't know why the Lord wants me to share this, but I'm just going to be obedient. Um, so years ago, about 2013, um, so a few months ago, I was watching this video about Joe Sweet, and he was talking about whitewashed tombs. And as soon as he brought whitewashed tombs up, it made me think of a memory with my mom and dad. Because me and my mom was in Kmart one time back in like 2013 or something, and there was this white purse with Zac Efron on it, and he had on a white t-shirt and was showing off his abs. And I remember looking at my mom, and I told her to look at it, and she looked at it, and she made this face like that, and I was like, man, I can't stand it when guys act like that. And she's like, yeah, me neither. and and that's back before I was even a Christian or really even involved in the Christian community, honestly. But yeah, the Lord had laid that on my mind one day when I was listening to Joe Sweet preaching, and talking about whitewashed tombs, and the fact that it was a white bag and a white t-shirt that he was wearing, and it was talking about cleaning the being a whitewashed tomb, like looking good on the outside but basically being ugly on the inside. And when you think about it, that kind of does go hand in hand, because even though celebrities get paid to do things like that, it might be considered beautiful, by the world standards, but in God's eyes, that stuff is not considered beautiful. Like, you might look good on the outside, but on the inside you're ugly, because basically you think you're better than everybody, or you think you're all that. And the Bible says God hates pride. So I didn't plan none of that. That was literally all God. Like, none of that was me planning it. And that's just one way how God can speak to you. He can just give you so many perspectives and so many different examples, and they just go together so perfectly. So, yeah, this message is obviously for somebody. Like, maybe you're a Christian, maybe you're not a Christian, like whatever it is. But the whole whitewashed tomb, or the whole being beautiful on the outside and ugly on the inside, must be something that you must really need to hear, because there is a lot of that going on in the world. People think just because they look good on the outside, or just because they have all these great materials, that makes them something special. But in God's eyes, he looks at the heart. That's what it says in 1 Samuel. It says, look not on his outward appearance, because I have rejected him. And just because we have a tendency to judge people by their looks and say, well, this person looks good, and they have, they seem like nice people, and they're pretty charming. And that's why you have to really pray for discernment, because we're living in a world, and especially in the church, you have to really pray for discernment and really pray for God to show you who's good for you and who's not, because even Christians can seem so perfect on the outside, but if you really just pay attention to the words that come out of their mouth, or just certain things that they do or say, you're like, this person really needs a lot of work, and especially like if you try to confront them about it and they get really offended and don't want to listen. Yeah, definitely pay attention to that.